What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. I hope you're all doing well this evening. I hope that life is treating you good. I'm going to put the green screen up tomorrow. Excuse me. And, so things will be back, hopefully looking normal. I have to see how the lighting will impact it. It may look a little different, but we'll see. No, it's not that. It's that the sauce ran way longer than planned, and I had some things I had to do in between, and so kind of going over. And I don't know what was going on with the stream early on, so we probably actually end up only going about an hour and a half tonight. And then, like I said, we'll get back on track because I wanna get back to doing the streams as frequently as I can, and I enjoyed that. That is, and like I said, I'm sorting some other things out, and I'm going to be reducing the soft streams to generally about an hour and a half, and the dens will go back to about 2 hours. So that's kind of how it will flow. Um, so there's that. The climate, what climate? So my thing is this. I'm your host, Ed Honcho. I'm glad to see you all, those of you who are joining us. I know some people usually, if they don't see it by 10 o'clock, they're probably like, well, fuck it, right? So, it is what it is. Um, I haven't set up, like I say, on the sauce, I've been trying a new number to do something a little bit differently, and I like the way it works a little bit better because you don't have, you still have the phone ringing, but but you don't have the beeping between all the calls. So I think like I said, I need to adjust for that. I don't have one set up for this, so we probably be using the old den line until I get that fixed. But I mean, like I say, testing some things out. I think I like the new line a little bit better. So we'll see how that works. But again, I'm your host, Ed Honcho. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who do, well, keep it true. Hit that like button. Um, so again, like I said, make sure you're following all the proper social medias, Twitter. Yeah, I gotta get the background back going. The gram, do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the gram. And Facebook. Make sure you follow the Facebook page because I usually use an automated thing to post up all the stuff on social media. For some reason, it has been sending the post to the Facebook group, and for whatever reason, I have to do it manually. But the Facebook page has been getting the notification, so make sure you're liking the Facebook page. Shout out to the Patreon supporters. I know I've been on you guys a couple of things, and I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. As far as diving into some podcasts, kind of some audio stuff that I can kind of work on in between. So, Patreon supporters expect a flood of audio, private podcasts for that. Now I got mostly everything set up. Everything's for the most part in order. Everything's kind of set up. I ain't gonna lie, I've been lackadaisical. Kind of hang some pictures and stuff tomorrow, but outside of that, everything should be good. If you want to go get you some Den Show merch, go to denshowshop.com. And yeah, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, you go to denfolk.com. Shout out to everybody who is showing love and holding that down. So let's kind of get into it. And I know you see the little chick, Gretchen, Hansel and Gretel, Thunberg. That's actually Heidi's cousin. So for those of you who are familiar with our moderator, Heidi, that is actually her cousin. And so you guys didn't know that we had a celebrity here. 335 was the motherfucker. Let's see what we have doing us this evening. Actually, I guess that was rude of me, right? Unbeaten Sports, what's the motherfucking deal? Sweetberry, Jason S., what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi, the celebrity, aka Greta. Broderick, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see, Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? 335 in the motherfucking building, what's the motherfucking deal? Dirty Swedes, how racist. We'll see. For those of you who thought Heidi was just racist against Mexicans and black people, she hates everybody equally. That would be amazing. I would love to have Judge Joe Brown on the den. Judge Joe Brown, if you don't follow Judge Joe Brown, great follow. Larry Johnson, former NFL player, great follow. Curtis Schoon is a guy that I've been telling you about for a long time, a great follow. Those, you got to go out and seek representation. The media, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute because I was thinking about this. We talk about representation in the media. And I was just sitting there, who represents me? Where are the masculine, straight black men in the media? We always want to talk about representation, right? Where are they? Because we don't get represented. The gays are crying about representation. Women cry about representation. The LGBT alphabet soup, alphabet cereal gang, they cry about representation. Where's the straight black males in media? Stephen A. on ESPN. Yeah, good luck with that. ESPN is social. Matter of fact, because fucking Comcast, and I'm getting to the conversation here. Fucking Comcast, we moved, right? So we did the whole moving process. Upgraded the package so they, got a new modem and everything. Like, Activate did all this shit. And then today, everything just cuts off randomly. I'll call them back. They're like, oh, well, we didn't confirm or activate the package or some shit. I don't fucking know. And you still got shit attached to the old address. Anyway, what? You follow Sesame Street. And so I'm watching it, and the black guy, I don't even know what his name was. I want to say it was, what's that show, Around the Horn or whatever it is. I'm going to be honest, I've tuned out from, especially since I've been more into the sauce. I try my best not to watch a lot of other people because I don't want, my opinions or takes influenced. Like, I try to be as genuine and original in my own thoughts without being, oh, well, such and such said this, and, But the guy, he won, I guess, today, or whatever they win, whatever you call it. He's like, I just want to shout out to the LGBT representation. They did something. I'm like, really? Black guy gets it. Black man gets it. He's just talking about LGBT. Like, you cannot be, the white man is evil. That's how they look at it. The white man is the evil man, so they don't want to hear nothing from y'all, white guys. That's unfortunate. But the next worst thing is the straight black man. Masculinity. It's toxic and it's terrible, So it's like, I guess it's masculinity, and then man, look, here's the deal. Whitlock, and I was telling about Curtis Schoon. I hate Whitlock's sports takes. I hate him. Don't like him at all. But I fuck with Jason Whitlock for who he is and as a character. And it's like, I think that's the problem that a lot of people don't get. A lot of people don't understand. Like, I don't care for his sports takes at all. Don't give a shit. But when it comes down to it, and this is what I say with black people in general. We're going to talk about Greta. I know y'all we want to talk about the little Swedish girl, Little Debbie. We're going to talk about Little Debbie in just a second. But Jason Whitlock runs what he does. If you were to ask most black people or most black men who watch it, and you said, I know a lot of black people, a lot of folks from the island, you'd be surprised. If you were to ask most people, who do you prefer, or who do you relate to more when it comes to sports talk, Shannon or Whitlock? The majority of black men are going to go with Shannon. But Shannon don't have boss staff. Shannon ain't putting nobody on. Shannon is the co-host. You know what I'm saying? Shannon is the co-host. Yeah, outside of the sports part of it, when they talk about other things, I rock with Whitlock. His Twitter follow, great Twitter follow. But in reality, Whitlock is a boss. Whitlock is the one that put people on the whole, what is that, the Undefeated at ESPN? That was Whitlock. But because his views didn't fall in line with what they expected for black people there, they had to get rid of him. But that was him. He started that. Whitlock has put a lot of black people on as far as jobs. But you know what they say about Whitlock? Uncle Tom, he's a coon. He's a this and he's a that. But he's put people on, employed people, and put them in positions. But, they don't want to hear that because he's not saying what they want to say. But again, who would you, if you were to say out of the two of them, who's the Uncle Tom or who's cooning, who's shoe shining? Shannon, they got Shannon out there doing stuff. You know he don't do. Shannon don't drink like that. He ain't smoking no black, but he's putting on these characters and he's doing all this stuff because it sounds good. Shannon says all this crazy stuff because it sounds good. And this is not a knock on Shannon. I like Shannon Sharp for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But it's the image that gets bought up by black people because if it's not the way you want to see it, they're not looking behind the scenes to see who's really putting on. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's talk about this, the little girl, and what I want to talk about in politics. And I guess this actually ties into politics too, because we're talking about who's off limits, right? And this is what I'm saying. It's not really about Greta. This whole thing, I just used her because she's a catchy face right now. Clickbait, if you will. I don't really care about what she said, you know. And you've seen the pictures come out of her parents and things like that. And I believe they said she has Asperger's or something like that. And it makes me think of a hilarious South Park episode. But my thing is, I'm asking who's off limits, because do we talk about children being too young? Because then you can talk about the David Hoggs, you can talk about the C.J. Pearsons, you can talk about this chick here, especially when they got heavily involved in the politics at a young age, you know. And David Hogg, you can get I'm sure there's plenty of background, you can go into that. Whoever the other little kid was, I think the Jewish kid who was with Turning Point USA, I believe. You know, because people have no problem attacking kids, if you want to call them that, young teens who are espousing their political views, as long as it's on the other side. But then when someone says something about, and again, I'm not necessarily taking sides here. Like I said, I just want to know who's off limits because both sides play dirty pool, and it's just kind of what I want to point out this evening. Because everybody's saying, "Oh, she's just a kid, and she's this and she's that, so you can't, say anything. You can't." But again, like I say, you have other children, other kids, however you want to look at it. 16. It's, what's her name? Was it Pelosi or Warren? One of them said that the 16-year-old should vote, right? And if you get the choice to vote, well, I get the choice to talk about your motherfucking ass. I agree, human shield. That you can't say this about her. So I'm not about letting anybody. If you speak, then you are available to be criticized. Period. Point blank. But people try to use these different things. Well, she has either this disability or. And Asperger's, I believe, is like a social thing. I think it's a level of autism. I just did a brief read up on it about yesterday evening. And I think it's like a disability, but it's more of like a social issue, right? They say it's low on the low end of the spectrum. I believe that they're higher functioning, like an autistic on the autistic spectrum, something like that. And if it's a social issue, I mean, she's pretty bold, to be out speaking in front of the UN. And so I'm wondering, because they say I think people who have this condition, there'll be particular topics they get very passionate about because they kind of get locked in on. And I'm wondering how much of this is influenced by her parents, right? How much of this is really? I didn't know that about Shannon. Say with the Hennessy Black Mouse. Well, yeah, it's funny, exactly, but it's just a stereotype. And so that's what I'm saying. Like you play these roles, you play this stuff, but then you got these other guys who, for the most part, stand on their own. They don't do none of the nonsense or the tomfoolery. Now, what is it, Uncle Jimmy or whatever? He's funny. But let's say speak for yourself. Like I say, I have no fault with the show. I just don't care very much for Whitlock's take. But the show as a whole, I like the show. So my thing though is, how much of this is the parents pushing her out there to have these thoughts, these beliefs? They had some pictures of them floating around in Antifa T-shirts. So that kind of tells you where that is. Look, man. If you put yourself in the public eye, you as a parent, you put your child in the public eye. This is the world we live in. We live in a world of social media, a social climate where everybody talks about everything, right? It's gonna happen. There is no stopping that. You know what I'm saying? Well, Rogers, we know that Sweetberry is a racist and a pistachio thief. But that's what I like about the deal. We have racists on both sides of the aisle, and it just makes us all one big happy family, right? So my thing about this is period. Who is off limit? Because that's kind of how the LGBT thing plays into it. If you disagree with someone who is a part of the gang, then you are a bigot. You are a sexist. If you disagree with a woman, if you disagree with someone of a different race, you're a racist. Who is off limits? Who can you talk about? If a person has a differing opinion, a differing identity, it's a lot. I saw the most disgusting shit yesterday. Fucking, I gotta watch my words. I'm on Twitter. Not on Twitter. I'm on the tube, so I gotta be careful. So I gotta really get on the grind because, like I said, I really want to move the Den to an independent platform. I'm not saying I don't want to do YouTube things, but I want to have an independent, functioning platform. I got shit. Sometimes I have to really restrain some of the wording that I would love to use. You know what I'm saying? That I would just really, I have to catch myself. And that's why I use a lot of euphemisms, if you will. Because I know what the tube is all about, and I'm sure there's somebody just waiting with that ban button. I'm gonna get this nigger. Just like Dave says, it's okay for you to say nigger, but you can't say other stuff. Anyway, this very effeminate, questionable behaving, biologically born male. I guess it was supposed to be a climate rally or something. This fucking guy out there doing some of the most questionable shit I've ever seen. It's like, what does this have to do with whatever your cause is? It's nothing. It's just more reasons for certain groups to promote whatever tomfoolery that they're out there pushing. So, and that's my thing. You said black women and gays are off limits. And maybe that's why a lot of them are running hand in hand. And it's trust me, like I say, make sure you're Patreon supporter. I'm gonna start coming with some very, very interesting content for some of the private podcasts, because some of the shit ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shit ain't for everybody. And so, like I say, that certain people can say certain shit. And again, these feminists, especially black feminists, those are the ones I don't understand the most confused of all people, in my personal opinion. Feel free to have an opinion about any and everything, but then as soon as you say something back, automatically you're punching down. So it's either you're punching down or you're a punching bag. And I'd rather punch down if that's the case. I don't think I'm punching down on anybody by sharing my thoughts on anything. But you say Lizzo ain't off limits. Shit. Who is that? Oh. And this is what I'm saying, man. Like, it's just like we live in this world. Like, I'm telling you, man, I never understood it. But I see it. It's happening. America is burning from the inside out. And why I say that is because we now cater to the weakest people in our society, the people who are really irrelevant, the people, and I'm not saying their opinions don't matter, but they're not necessarily contributing to the cause. They're not gonna, if shit really went down, the weakest people in our society, all they do is complain. The activists who aren't active, right? And this bothers the fuck out of me, because if it was to really go down right now, these are people who are running and hiding and expecting you to do something, because they'll never do anything. A lot of these extremely effeminate men got the most to say about everything, but when it comes down to it and problems happen, they're running and hiding behind women. But this is who you want to side with. This is who you want to listen to. People have gotten too safe, and when you are detached from reality, when you are detached from danger or repercussions for your actions, your mentality, your thought process becomes soft. And I'm gonna be honest, Heidi, I like you, but Asperger is not an issue you have to worry about. But now, like, you know what I'm saying? It's you can't say anything to anybody. Doctors can't tell their patients that their weight is unhealthy if they're in a dangerous situation. I feel like I'm being attacked. Yeah, you fucking being attacked because you got a fucking problem. That's the problem, is that the people who actually mean well can't be honest about how they speak, because then it's an attack. You get punished for it. But then the people who are really up to no good for themselves and others, they're the ones that get to speak the most, because you can't say anything to them, because then it's some type of oppression, it's some type of attack. And fuck them. It's not just about overweight. It's about everybody. Everything's a racial issue. I can't stand that shit, because again, I just don't get it. Like, there's certain situations where people just don't like your motherfucking ass, or it might be something you got going on. Now, this is not to say that nothing is racial. There are racial issues. There are situations, yes, that are involved in race. But what you have so many people now is, maybe you're just a trash person. If you have interactions with someone of a different race and they don't like your ass, think about the people you have the interaction with your same race and they don't like your motherfucking ass. But all of a sudden, because it's somebody of a different color, it's a racist situation. Maybe people just don't like your fucking ass, and that's the problem. Like, some people are just unlikable, no matter what race you are. Don't like motherfuckers. But like I said, there's these people that are off limits. I think everybody should go. I think a green light on everybody. It should be a green light on everybody. Toughen up. And if you can't bang and you can't hang and you can't take what's being said, you're going to need to be a hermit or go, off grid somewhere, because this society is not for you. So, again, it is what it is. Shout out to Impaler. Shout out to Ronald Liza McVice. What's the motherfucking deal? Ugly lesbian comedian. Aren't most female comedians lesbians? Wow. I'm gonna be honest too, right? Like, and that's the thing. You think about it too. And I'm gonna open up the line here. The woke comment. You talking about Wanda or somebody? I don't know. Everybody's woke. I don't want woke. I want to be sleep. Like, yeah, I want to be the opposite. Like, if everybody's real nowadays, I'm super fake. I'm super fake. And if everybody's woke, then I am sleep. I'm fake and I'm sleeping. That's where we are right now. This chair's about to add it. I don't know what's going on here. I need to tighten it up. Yeah, but so my thing is this, right? Everything's a cause. Everything's an issue. But gay and lesbian comedians, they're like bad black comedians. I don't know if they're as funny, but what I mean by that is that their field of view is narrow. When you got a basic comedian, it's usually, if they're I don't know, starting out or whatever, because black people do this, white people do this, black people do this. They don't really get into the nuances of life and, just kind of peel back the layers and talk about things that are actually funny outside of race. That's how most gay and lesbian comedians are. Everything's from a gay perspective, where lesbians talking about how dicks are nasty or some shit. Gays, well, they're talking about the opposite. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this. She's a bad black comedian who's also lesbian. Name a good female comedian that doesn't talk about her weight. So, again, I couldn't tell you. That's what it is. I need to watch that Paper Tiger. I'm a fan of Bill Burr. I'm surprised I hadn't watched that yet. I'm slacking.
Dan Strong donated $5. That kid is from Sweden. I don't know if she's paying attention to her country, but they have worse problems than climate change, like unchecked immigration with bad results.
Like I say, I guess, at one point we'll dive a little bit deeper into what she was talking about. But like I said, the blowback that I've been seeing more than anything around this kid is, well, she's off limits. But then, like I say, you talk about a young kid like C.J. Pearson. He's about the same age. I think he's a young black conservative kid. They give him no. I mean, no. You're good, Dan. Because like I said, I was speaking on it earlier, but I'm gonna come back to that. But like the C.J. Pearson kid, and I appreciate the love, appreciate your support of the channel. Shout out to Dan. Like the C.J. Pearson kid, he caught some flack for something, and again, so that's what I say. Either everybody's off limits, or nobody's off limits, and I prefer the nobody's off limits because we all make mistakes, and these mistakes need to be addressed and corrected. But we live in a society now. We live in a society now where if you address someone's mistakes, then you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy for saying, hey, there's a little bit of an issue with what you're doing that's questionable on your character, that is, leading you down a bad path or whatever it may be. We excuse everything. We put nowadays, and again, whatever you do with your life, it's your life to choose who am I to judge, but we live in a society where people want to equate sex workers and give them the same honor and respect as doctors and lawyers and entrepreneurs who are bringing real services to society. Sex is a service, I guess, if you want to pay for it. Do what you want to do with it, but it's not a real thing in the sense of you could start tomorrow. You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to take any extra schooling to be a sex worker. There's no level of anything other than putting your body out there. So that's that, and that's why, that's like I say, if you want to do whatever you feel is economically feasible for yourself to sustain and eat, but don't act like what you're doing is valid and credible, and it's not about integrity. I forgot the word I want to use, but excuse me. Like I said, we only gonna probably go about an hour and a half tonight, and I've probably talked for about 30 minutes already. Like I say, it's just been a while in the den, and I just want to address some things, and I'm sure I'll talk about some other stuff. We got to get back on that. I gotta get with man things and get the society back going. Like I said, I've just been getting some other stuff going and trying to get this back on track. But yes, we definitely need to get that back in order. Let's see. Yeah, the Joker. I'm actually looking forward to watching the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Heidi, you're funny. You're funny. Even though that's your sister out there promoting that climate protest, you are funny. Did I? Is the Streamlabs link out of the description? It might have changed up. Like I said, it's so much shit using different services and swapping different things and doing all this other stuff. It's so much weird shit going on. And then fucking, YouTube hates me. YouTube does not like me. All right. Let me see. Like I said, the sauce. I don't want to use the same number I was using in the sauce, but I guess we'll use the old den stuff. So I think I will be switching it over. And then what I'll have to do is end up porting this number over to the new service. So tonight we'll use the old one, but after this step tonight, we may have a new den number for a little bit, maybe temporarily, maybe long term. We'll see how it works. Because like I said, I think I like the other service better because, like I said, it puts the calls like in a queue, so that way you don't have to keep calling back 100 times, and you don't have to y'all as the listeners don't have to keep hearing all that beeping in the middle of calls and all that other stuff. So I like that a little bit better, as opposed to just ringing, answering calls, beeps, and all that other stuff. It's just all those extra noises, and I don't have to do all that extra weird clicking and shit. So I think that's the way we're gonna go. So there's that. But let me put the proper stuff out there, and doodle-doo. Let's see where we're at. Where we're at. Yes, if you want to call it, where's the number? The number should pop up. Guess the number don't want to pop up. Fuck it. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Belle.
Miss Bell. I know so well. How are you doing this evening, Miss Bell?
I'm doing good. Like a few of the others, I never got notification tonight.
Okay. It might have been on me because everything kind of got put up late, but it should usually within if you do it 30 minutes to an hour, it's supposed to send a notification. So I'm not sure.
Well, you got to remember, most of us on the East Coast are an hour ahead of you, so it's usually 12. Let me see, it's almost 1 o'clock here.
Oh, shit.
Or 12 o'clock here. So it gets late before we get the messages, so it'd be good if we get an early post. But anyway, it is what it is. So what's the topic for the night? I saw some sports stuff, but I wasn't really sure.
Oh, well, what we're discussing more so is, when it comes to politics, what is off limits? I mean, what is too far? I mean, is it wrong to criticize these kids who are kind of putting themselves out there in the political arena, putting their opinions out there, especially, through social media, using that to leverage whatever it may be? Are they fair game? Is someone, like they say the chick, she has the
Asperger's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
it's
she
high-functioning autistic. It's high-functioning autistic is what it is. I kind of saw bits and pieces of it throughout today, and I think that she was pretty well spoken, considering the age and the difficulties that she's got going. I think that the kids should be listened to, but it's all in perspective. Their worldview is from a lot less years than most of us adults. So they're seeing what's going to be put on their backs, and they have a right to make noise about it, but they don't have all the information because they haven't really been around long enough to understand all of what's going on. So it's kind of like you got to let them talk a little bit because they're going to be eventually handling the burden of all of it.
Okay.
But ultimately, I think kids should be like off the record, or they should be protected a little bit, because most of the time they've got enough knowledge to make them dangerous or stupid. And sometimes it's a little bit of both when you don't have the wisdom to go behind the experience or the book smarts. So what they're saying is their words are right, they're accurate, but it's not always a good follow-through because of what the particular situation is. Anyway, I definitely think she need to be a little bit protected, and appreciative of the fact that she was willing to do that. Then again, I think if you're not voting, then in some ways you really don't kind of have a right to say anything either, because if you're not putting your money where your mouth is or your vote on that person, you're just kind of blowing smoke too.
Okay. Interesting.
Did you know that it was either yesterday or today was National Voters Registration Day? And I don't know if it was yesterday or today, one or the other, and it's been coming up.
I've been seeing Facebook send a little thing talking about, show everybody that you registered or something like that, and they've been tallying it up. I don't trust Facebook. They might steal my vote.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I've been registered for years, but it's just the fact that it's good that they're getting it out of there. Now, somebody had said something on Facebook today, and I think that it is a completely, absolutely awesome idea. If all these people can go after those chicken damn sandwiches and stand in line for hours and hours to get a chicken sandwich, they can stand in line to vote.
Oh, yeah. But it doesn't taste as good.
That's the problem. They'll stand in line and pay money to eat something, but they won't stand in line in order to make sure that they're heard. And it doesn't cost them a dime but time.
See, that's the strategy right there. See, if somebody is trying to get elected, what they need to do is tell them, we got chicken sandwiches at the polls. You come vote for me. You get your chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but technically that's bribery, because there's a lot of people that are influenced just by the food to take the vote. And that's not really making an educated choice either. That's just being completely swayed or bandwagoning.
No, man. I think waiting for the chicken sandwiches isn't that bright either. Again, it still blows my mind. 'Cause like I said, I have not eaten one since that whole thing. When I told you I abandoned it, because I was eating them for months before, and it's just the fact that people went crazy. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, I literally stopped him. Like, I was disgusted by the behavior around the chicken sandwich. I'm like, I can't even support. I saw some Popeyes themed Air Force Ones. It was terrible.
Yeah, but Honcho, you were already over it. You had already gotten your fill of it, so that's probably one of the reasons that you responded like you did.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it was a good chicken sandwich.
Like, been there, done that. Yeah, what's the big deal? And all these people are like, oh, now we finally know what the big deal is.
Yes. But it's crazy. It's so crazy. Then I don't know if y'all saw that they had they ran out of the buns. They wouldn't even that they ran out of the sandwich. They ran out of the buns. They started trying to do the bring your own bun thing. Like, really? Is there a discount on the sandwich when I bring my own bun? Like, it's just craziness. I don't know.
No, in these corporations, probably not.
Yeah, absolutely not. They'll probably charge you more. We
So
got to put it on the bun.
By the way, how was the move? Have you guys got everything figured out?
Yeah, everything. Aside from dealing with Comcast and Xfinity or whatever, everything else is smooth. Having to call them 52 times. But the only thing left to do, I think, at this point is just hang up some pictures. I've been kind of putting that off, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
It sounds like you guys made it through the storm pretty well too.
Yeah, we had no real issues. It was a little wet, but for the most part, it was pretty good.
Now, the other thing I came across, and I don't know why it happened, but I was on the Den group, and it was talking about we're supposed to be going out to Vegas next month, and I know that's not on, but it was just weird that it actually had kind of come up when I was going through some of the back stuff.
Oh yeah, I think because somebody commented on it, so it might have refreshed. I definitely need to take that down so to avoid any additional confusion. But
yeah, that'd be still pretty cool though. But it definitely seems like it should be maybe a possibility for the spring though.
Yeah, that's what I am kind of thinking of pushing it. It just may end up being forward in a few months. Just like I say, because of some things that took place kind of unexpectedly. It just kind of threw a monkey wrench in the plans a little bit. Like, I mean, it could possibly still happen, but I think it's a little bit more last minute arrangement at this point. So yeah, I think we'll move it forward maybe, and then that way maybe it can work out better for more people to get together, and then we have something a little bit more enjoyable and get more folks to come out.
Okay, I have two questions for you. Who were the two sports guys you were talking about? Because I wasn't very familiar with them.
Jason Whitlock and Shannon Sharp.
Are they on ESPN?
Jason Whitlock is on Fox, and Shannon Sharp is on ESPN, I believe.
Okay, now the names sound familiar. I didn't have the first names with them. Okay, I knew who they are. Yeah. Okay, and here's my last question for the night. What is the difference between somebody that's racist and a bigot?
I have no idea.
Okay, we'll throw it out to the audience and see what everybody else wants to come up with.
Okay, Fox Sharp on Fox. Okay, they both on Fox. Okay, my bad. I'm telling you, I've been getting all the shows confused. I don't even know what show. I barely remember the names. Undisputed. Okay, that's a great question though. I think so. All right.
Well, it was just something that, we do talk a lot of racial stuff, and I was like, and I know that we've always called Archie Bunker a bigot, but I never really knew what the difference was between the two.
Yeah. I mean, is it? I'm wondering, does a bigot just think they're superior to everyone for multiple reasons, or is a racist just solely focused on, racial supremacy, or that they, feel like just particularly because of a race? Well, wondering, is it an individual thing compared to maybe like a group thing?
I see where you're going with that. Yeah, racial is it a particular culture or a particular ethnicity? And you're right, bigot's probably an across-the-board ass, yeah, where they just hate everybody. There's nobody in particular. Okay. That would make sense if I had to do a dictionary version of it, yeah. Okay. Got any questions for me?
No, ma'am. I think that's all I got.
Sounds good. All right. Hey, it was nice to have a good midweek catch up with everybody, and I'm back on the boards.
All right. Well, it's good to hear from you, Miss Bell. And like I said, hopefully on the days that we're not there's no football, but try to get back more active on the den. So hopefully we can get back.
I totally get that. Basketball season, I get a little busy too, so I hear you. Okay. All right. Good night, and waiting for the next caller.
All right. Thank you for calling, Miss Bell.
Thanks.
All right. Say Jay Dizzle, can't be hating on my boy and I probably would have said this not too long ago. My boy Whitlock, man. Look, I'm gonna talk about that. Well, you didn't catch the earlier part, but Whitlock is Whitlock is more legit than niggas want to give him credit for. But we gonna talk about that in a second. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Man, it's your boy Roman.
Roman. What's on your mind, Roman?
Man, to be honest with you, it's my first time in the den for a little while, man. So
yes, you abandoned us. Roman abandoned us. He abandoned the den for the living room, and just left us here.
Hey! I've been busy, like I told you, with the soft man. So I'm happy to be back in the den. But man, you know, I'm be honest with you, Honcho. I look at these politicians, and like I said, I had a whole debate in my fucking history class. We was talking about politics today, left and right, and you know, conservatives and liberals and GOP and blah blah. It was going all over the place.
You down with GOP?
Huh?
You down with GOP?
I ain't down with the GOP. I mean, I'm just saying in general, bro. I was more of a listener. You know, like I told you, I'm more of a. I might read left in certain areas more, but I listen on both sides, man. I try to be not try to be oblivious. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I just look at it, and then when you talk about boundaries, man, I'll be honest with you. When you come to these politicians, I don't feel like there is no boundaries. You know, I mean, key example. I mean, look at Trump when he had talked about goddamn Ted Cruz's wife in the primary, you know, and Ted Cruz wasn't no real ass nigga. He wasn't no real ass man. When you talk about my wife, baby, that's fine words. So, you know, but the thing is, he a politician. He talked about your wife, and he got away with it. He didn't hear nothing about, you know, that was stepping over the line, that was over the boundary. You know,
that's because,
but then
that's because Ted Cruz feels the same way about his wife. That's Trump.
Yeah. You know, but I don't get, you know, Trump didn't really face, he didn't really face a lot of criticism for that. But the part I don't get how, you know, that was a lot more wrong with Trump said to Cruz than what Julian Castro had said to Biden in the debates when he was like, you know, did you just remember what you said a couple minutes ago? Basically saying that Biden is old. You get what I mean? But, you know, Julian, I'm not no fan of Julian, but he got a lot of flack for that. You know, he's pushing the line. You know, Honcho, people need to take, I think with politics, it's an emotionless sport. It's an emotionless event where you have to take your emotions out of politics. You know, because it's not going to get you nowhere. I mean, when you think of all the presidents that have won, basically they've been lack of emotion. You get what I mean? And what I mean by lack of emotion, I mean lack of feeling offended, lack of feeling just, you know, well, this is how I feel. I mean, this is how they break down how basically they're going to run this country in a way. And there really is no boundaries. It's like when you add emotions into politics, it causes issues. It causes problems. Then you get, I feel offended. I feel like this. It's a debate. I mean, when it comes to politics, nothing should offend nobody. But sometimes it's not always like that. Emotions does get put into politics. And it's just, after that, it becomes, how good can you take it? Because they always going to get throwing shots at you. You get what I mean? At anything. You know, I'm just saying. I've seen politicians way worse than, I'm not just talking about American politicians. I've seen foreign politicians that go raw.
Yeah, foreign politicians they don't care about you, but they just kill you. So you gotta
I mean, I swear, I seen this one clip where it was in Ukraine, and they did their political, they had the subtitles and shit. Bruh, it was talking about killing niggas. And they was down and dirty in those debates, and nobody looked fazed. You get what I mean? Now, I'm not saying, I know in America we follow different guidelines, but I'm just, what I mean, I'm talking about politics in general. It's always, it's a dirty sport. It's where anything can happen. It's just who has the bigger balls to hold it, to be honest with you. You know, if you take it and you feel offended by it, you're not ready for this game. Because when you become anything with power, when I'm talking about Congress, Senate, governor, mayor, and even president, you get what I mean? You're always going to be scrutinized or criticized for something.
Yes.
You get what I mean? And when you cannot take that criticism or you add your emotion into that criticism, it shows how weak you are. The best politicians are always the ones who ignored all the criticism and either proved it wrong or just ignored it or just don't talk about it. You know, this is why, I'm not trying to say this, but this is why I do have a big problem with Trump. Just how emotional he is. Like, why you have to be on Twitter every minute, my dude? You act like you're 26. Like you're a young millennial, like you're somebody my age on goddamn Twitter. Dude, get off of Twitter and run the country. You get what I mean? It's no point of you having a rant on everything you feel, on every political move that's going on right now. Keep that in your head.
But do you think that don't you think that kind of keeps him better connected to his base, though? I mean, being honest and espousing his true feelings. Because think about a guy like Obama. He wasn't really a social media guy or anybody before them. But Trump leveraged that social media following into a presidency. So isn't he kind of sticking to his base? Is he kind of sticking to what he's always done? And he's keeping that, it's like that direct connection, not really relying on the media to spread the message or to convey what they think that he's saying. So he's able to go directly to the people. It's that direct connection. It's like, what's the word? What's what I'm looking for? So, I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. I mean, you live by the sword, die by the sword type situation. But as far as you looking at it as, I don't want to say business, but I mean, it's what's got him there. So, I mean, I think he's just staying true to his character. I mean, he was a Twitter head prior to, and he still is. I mean, even in the presidency. And so I think that kind of gives you an uncut understanding of what he believed. Because I think that, say, if Obama was more of that guy, I think people would look at him a lot differently if he was to just, put his true feelings out there on everything via the media. I think that a lot of people would have looked at him differently. Maybe it might not have been a second term, or it might have led to more people vote for him on the second term. Who knows? But I just think that I don't really see an issue, necessarily with him doing that. But again, the same thing that gets you Republicans be the same thing that causes you to make mistakes. But again, you just kind of got to live with those actions.
I get what you mean, Honcho, but this is why I call the issue with that. The thing is, don't always give me a false hope or false promise about something. I'm not Trump supporter, but if I was, don't always say you're going to do something and you don't do it. Stop always saying you're going to do something and you don't do it. Say it by action. We don't have to hear everything how you feel. Start by action. If you don't like something Nancy Pelosi or something that's just as Democrats can do, then show them how you can stop, like how you prove yourself as a better president instead of always saying it. You get what I mean? It's just, you're hurting yourself in a way. You get what I mean? To where, what good are you doing? You're not even doing no good for yourself. I mean, other than, like, Honcho, to tell me this is not a problem. People talk about Trump's tweets before his bills that he signed. He is more talked about by his social media rant than about helping the country. I mean, the man has more Twitter followers and tweets than motherfucking jobs that have been outsourced to other places. I was watching CNN 10, right? Mm-hmm. And they was talking about how millions that, one thing that Trump promised was to, of course, to keep jobs in America. That was one of his big promises, was America first. Yeah. Was to keep basically these jobs that outsource their work to other countries, where, he's going to make deals with these businesses to come back to America and, produce whatever they was producing, especially a lot of car industries in America. And what actually happened is actually hundreds of more jobs have outsourced. I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about false hope and false promises. And that goes back to what the issue we're talking about. What are you doing? Where are you pushing the line? Why can't you keep your emotions to yourself and keep emotions out of politics so you carry yourself as a better person. You know, like I'm Jonathan Honcho. In my opinion, to be a good politician, you gotta be emotional.
But,
Don't show nobody nothing.
Here's what I'm gonna say though, and not to cut you off, but I agree with what you're saying. But and that's the thing I think why Trump won a lot, because he took those jabs. He took a lot of shots, a lot of jabs. A lot of people talking about his inability, and he fired back. He didn't take it like on some whole shit, or he didn't turn the other cheek. It was that aggressiveness. But I think the business aspect of it, because what I was gonna say about it, especially with the Twitter, the tweets, and all that other stuff, it's would you rather be talked about in a notorious fashion for whatever it may be, or not be talked about at all? What do you think bodes more in his favor? So, he could be the guy that nobody's really mentioned. They could be calling him lame duck or whatever you want to call it, or be always the topic of conversation because of something he said, whether the conversation is good or bad. So would you rather be having someone have a bad conversation about you, or no one talk about you at all?
I've heard what better than don't talk about me at all. Act like I don't exist.
Okay, but that's not going to bode well for you in the public sector, especially if you are a politician or a businessman or whatever it is, because a business brand that nobody talks about becomes forgotten, whether it's good, bad, or whatever it is. The same thing with a politician. If nobody's talking about you, you're not on anybody's mind. If you're not getting that free real estate, then they're talking about somebody else. They're concerned with somebody else. That other person is taking that opportunity to be the topic of conversation, to take advantage of that leverage. So, in my opinion, you could be a nobody, or you could be a disliked somebody. But the same way that those people, that half the people may dislike you, you're going to have another half of the country that's going to love you. So I think you take the good with the bad. Again, like I say, not saying that I agree with everything that Trump does, not saying that I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm just looking at it from a different angle, in the sense of that I don't have an issue with what he does because it works for what he's trying to accomplish. And anybody, or not anybody but anybody who's paying attention realizes that it's working for him, because you're talking about it or you're saying something, even though it may be a distraction from the policy. It may be something else that's going on while he's doing other moves, but people are more concerned. He said something about the little girl, and he didn't do anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? But people are talking about.
I'm asking you this, Honcho. Like everybody else, I think in America knows that Nancy Pelosi went on stage and proposed the impeachment report against Trump, right? I'll tell you this, Honcho. If everything that's happened with Trump in these last 3 to 4 years, right?
Yes.
And how Trump got really scot-free on a lot, Do you think that they would let Obama get away with all the stuff Trump has got away with? Like with all the scandals and this and that. Do you think they would let Obama get away with that?
I think it's about how you carry yourself. I think Obama his demeanor was more passive. I don't think he had the same fighting spirit, same type of mentality. I don't think he had his base was solidified. Like to say, the way Trump came in this bitch, and because certain people are so hungry to retain power, they're gonna acquiesce to whatever is being said. And I think on both sides of the aisle it works that way. But if you were to say who's the more dominant personality, it's Trump by far. Obama came in trying to appease people and doing some other weird shit that we're not gonna get into. But Trump came in, kind of setting his own tone, whether he was the most whether he was the best candidate or not, whether he is the most knowledgeable about the job or not, either he's learning on the fly, first foray into politics, or however you want to look at it. He came in and he asserted himself, and people fell in line. There hasn't been too many people on the same side of the aisle that had tried to stand up against him, regardless of what he was saying was sensible or sounded illogical or whatever it may be. So I think if Obama tried to do stuff, it wouldn't have come across the same, just because of Obama's personality and demeanor and the way that he, charismatically got himself into office. Trump bullied his way in. Obama finessed his way in. So if Obama was to start acting like that, I think it would be a different perception.
Yeah. Well, Honcho, this is my last question before I get off, man. Do you think there's any, what is, if you had to say a chance, like a number, what is the chance of you seeing Trump being impeached?
A number? Does it have to be a whole number? Can we use
Don't, I mean, it don't
fractions?
have to be a whole number.
I see it being very slim. I mean, what is it now? What they're saying something about. I haven't caught the Ukraine thing or whatever it is that they're talking about.
Well, no, they're saying that it was a whistleblower. What's it called? A whistleblower. They accused him of somebody accused him of whistleblowing, something like that. Accused
like a referee
of working with the Ukrainian president to basically corrupt. I think it was Joe Biden's campaign and his son. It was something like that, which is a federal offense. Mm-hmm. So now, the House Democrats is irritated. You get what I mean? And, Honcho, I'm going to say this last thing. Yeah. I really feel like this is going to help Trump. Let me explain why.
Motherfucking right. Because how many shots they took at Trump? I mean, they didn't.
It's going to help him because
shit hit him.
The thing is, it's going to get through the House easy. It's going to get through the House because the House is Democrat. It's going to get through the House with with flying colors, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to get that motherfucker to the Senate, and it's going to be voted out so damn quick. I mean, it's going to be quick because they're not going to convict a Republican president, and the Senate is fully Republican. I mean, this man would have to literally be on videotape saying he's going to blow up America with the Ukrainian president to be impeached. You get what I mean?
Yeah, that nigga told you he could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and still win, and he wasn't lying about that shit.
And the thing is, this has been proven before. The same thing happened in Bill Clinton in the 90s. When Bill didn't get fully impeached, people act like, oh, he got impeached and he got kicked out. He didn't. Because if I'm correct at that time, I could be wrong about this. One part was the Senate, one was House, one was Democrat, one was Republican. And I think it was the House that was Democrat and the Senate that was Republican. And he got through. He got voted by the Senate out, but he didn't get voted by the House. He didn't get kicked out. That means you don't get kicked out. And his approval ratings went up. Actually, they said if you beat something like an impeachment and special inquiry, and it is proven time after time again that your approval ratings go up. Same thing happened to Andrew Jackson back in the 1800s. So I look at the Democrats, I'm saying, what are you doing to help your campaign to get this man out? You're not. You're actually hurting yourself because you're in a lose-lose situation wherever you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're shooting for all these little petty-ass things, these real trivial-ass allegations, because then what's going to happen is eventually, it's going to be a while, I think. I think that the Republicans will have control of the government for a while. I think, Trump wins another term. Honestly, I mean, it's going to take something detrimental happening. But like I said, I think he wins another term. And then, I think it might be...
Nah, you're wrong about that, man. Cory Booker got it, man. He win 2020.
What is the saying from those Atlanta rappers, Outkast? Boy, stop. Cory Booker over here helping illegal immigrants get across the border so they can go to Chick-fil-A and drink Kool-Aid together. Cory Booker's a joke, guy. Cory Booker and T-Bone, it just ain't for them. Cory Booker is not that guy. That's funny. Cory and T-Bone, like it's just like Cory Booker is not it. You know what I'm saying? He's not the dude. But
hey, look. The thing is, everybody just better get ready. It's coming down to Biden, Bernie, and Warren. Just get ready. That's your pick.
Yeah, and if anybody vote for Bernie after you talking about he need to take a break from the campaign trail, that should let you know his old ass is out of... Isn't Biden a little bit older than Bernie? Like, why do they look so drastically different?
I think Biden is. But, this is a conversation I was having with my sister. I was like, man, we need more younger people in politics, Honcho. They say that Joe Biden has been in politics. I think he got voted into the Senate or something like that. And he's been in politics since he was 21.
No.
Dude, I'm not 21. 20, something like that. I think it was 21. You didn't say he's been at that time. You could go a little early. He's been in politics that long, and he's 74. That dude. Let it go. That's the problem with politics. You got these old heads, and both on the GOP and on the Democratic ticket, that it's too old, man. It's time to have more younger minds in there. The more, I think, brighter views. You get what I mean?
So you talking about like AOC?
I'm not talking AOC. You know, I don't agree with everything AOC says, but one thing you gotta give AOC a lot of credit. She's a firecracker. You know, she brings new ideas. She hypes. You know, she has the energy to at least move stuff forward. I would like the same figure on the GOP side, on the Republican side. I'm just saying on both sides. Have newer views and just younger blood in there. You get what I mean? It's kind of hard, like, these people and these politicians who've been in the game for 2 generations, 2 decades. I mean, well, what else do you have to propose? You get what I mean? It gets stale. I think politics is stale right now.
See,
I think it just needs.
You gotta understand. See, y'all youngsters ain't built for. y'all ain't built for this political arena. I was to quote Hotel Jesus. You see, y'all youngsters ain't never survived a Halo lobby. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't been through tough times. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know about them original Call of Duty lobbies. Y'all ain't ready for the evil that this world presents. You know what I'm saying? That's the toughest shit you ever been through. Be a black man on a first-person shooter lobbies going down and back in the Gap. When before they got all soft and said that you can't say these things. You can't be that, you know, some little 12-year-old kid calling you a nigga because you done waxed their ass. You know, it is what it is. But, no, I'm just talking shit. But, you know, my thing is this, man. Again, like I said, the young stuff, I think you have to have a mix of both. I think, though, once... You know, a lot of these young folks get in there because of the lack of experience that I think a lot of y'all have with the world itself. It's going to be a drastic change in politics, and I'm for, I don't want to say the old guard, but I'm for, you know, people with real world experience holding on as long as they can before everybody from the digital age takes over, because I think there's a real disconnect. You know, with I think the younger generation in society as a whole. Yeah.
Well, you know, I agree, Honcho. But I don't know, Honcho. I wonder, who are you going to vote for? Don't tell me. I wonder, who are you going to vote
for? Honcho 2020.
Oh, we'll see, man. But hey, your boy will be able to vote too, because it's gonna be November 2020. My birthday is in September, so I'll be able to vote.
Okay.
So it'll be my first time. But let me hurry up and get off this line, man. No people saying get this nigga off the line. So,
they talking about you a little bit, saying you need to go do your homework in your volcano science
project. Man,
know the science fair,
motherfucking project, and
science fair tomorrow. You gotta go get that baking soda and that vinegar. Get that shit together, man.
Oh, man, you know they hating on me, but they hating on me because they want to be there, but that was my call, man.
I really appreciate the call there, Roman.
Man, anytime.
Alright. You know, it's funny you say that, bro. I'm more afraid of Roman's, you know, counterparts having a vote than Roman. You know, I think Roman's gonna make what decisions he views as best. I think he's gonna think it over. But we may not agree with his personal perspectives, but I think that the others around his age having a vote is when it's going to get dramatic. And that's the thing, the younger generations, they're definitely going to lean a particular way. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
No comment. No comment whatsoever. But man, no, Professor Trill, though, you made a comment earlier, and we was talking about that right before you got in there. We were talking about Whitlock and Shannon. Who do you prefer, Jason Whitlock or Shannon Sharp? Just overall, just as an overall individual, who do you prefer? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, this is Rashida. What's up?
The names, I mean, the sound, it just, the voice sounds so familiar. It just seems like it's been so long. I didn't know who it was for a moment. Miss Rashida, how are you doing?
I just texted you that picture earlier. You knew who it was. Don't do that fool.
Oh, yes. Miss Rashida did text me a picture earlier. She sent nudes. So if you want those, y'all can subscribe to the premium Snapchat, and I'll share them with y'all. And I'll fuck with y'all. Miss Rashida, how are you? How's life treating you, Miss Rashida?
Man, this flu done got me. I've been sick. My birthday passed. I was sick. But I'm hanging in there.
Okay, so what are you now? 22, 23?
I got a hold of some bad things, so I don't know. No, let me stop.
Okay. So how do you feel, Miss Rashida, when we're talking about, in politics, they say all's fair in love and war. Do you think that these youth, or some of the younger people that are getting into the political arena, that are, putting their thoughts and opinions out there publicly, do you think that they are off limits because they're young, or do you think that they are a target too if they put themselves out there?
If you put yourself out there, then you get what you get.
Okay.
Why would they be off limits? It was a story about, let's see, I don't know how many days ago, but it was 3 young black youth that got killed for Now, nobody running to their rescue talking about, oh, they young, they didn't deserve to die. People saying, oh, they broke into their house, so they got what they got. So why would the people in the political arena be off limits with their lives? And what they did is subject to, you know what I'm trying to say.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was actually going to do a video on that the other day, and I got a little caught up. I didn't have time to. And I don't know if you saw the interview that they did, I guess, with those kids' families. They was about 20 of them outside, I guess.
I'm just trying to piece together the story, because I've been hearing different things. So, I'm not up on the latest of what happened and all this.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I followed up myself, but what I saw, like I say, it was a little bit disturbing, because what they said is 2 of them were brothers. Now, they had different last names, and they were about the same age. So I think one was like 15, one was like 16.
They was only 15 to 16.
Yeah, and so
I guess, I don't know if 2 was 15 and 1 was 16. I don't know how it went.
And then, like I said, I think one of them was a cousin. So how much of that do you think is family ties? How much of that do you think is, what do you think is going to come in if there are 2 brothers and they have different last names? I'm assuming it's the mom having kids with 2 different men, and they had to be almost back to back, because you got to have at least a good 9 months. So she almost had to get knocked up as soon as she came back.
But in some ways, people are always trying to hold the family liable for what kids do, and I don't always think that's the case. Because you can raise your kid up right and everything, and your kids still gonna make dumb decisions and bad decisions.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
At some point, sometimes the people that you're around, your peers influence you more than your parents. And I don't think people get there sometimes. Because I'm sure little Honcho was mischievous when he was growing up. And that don't have nothing to do with the way that your mother raised you.
Absolutely not. My mother was a saint.
Exactly. No, you wasn't. You was a little devil out there. And speaking on myself, I wasn't like a bad wild kid, but I did a lot of things I shouldn't have did, and that didn't have any reflection on the way I was raised. It was more so being influenced by other people thinking shit was cool, more so than what my parents was teaching me at home.
Now, like I said, because the interview, the reason why I'm asking is because the interview I saw with the family, and they were talking about, we need questions, and we want to know the facts. Do you think that 3 teens just randomly end up dead in somebody's driveway? They said they found the mask was still on the bodies when they found them. the law enforcement that was investigating this, I don't know if the homeowner was white, black, or whatever. People were trying to make it seem like it's a racial situation. Okay.
I think he was black.
Okay, so because like I said, everybody I seen for the most part, like I said, was black law enforcement and everything like that. So, and again, it was early in the morning. These people were outside minding their own business. And again, but people try to say, "Oh, well, we need answers. How do we know that they really?" I saw a lot of people coming to the defense. I'm gonna be straight up with you. You're not rocking. You're not walking. You're not going anywhere unless it's Halloween, and even then, with a mask on your person. Much less 2 or 3 of y'all all having masks on your person in the middle of the night, unless you up to no good. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, I'm not pissing. I'm over here mixing this little beverage together. But no, I'm not. You're right. Not. I would pause.
Out the house at this time of night anyway, so I don't know. 4 a.m. They should have had their ass at home.
Exactly.
Part of that is kind of. Lack of parental supervision.
Yeah.
You still know what your kids said at 4 a.m. What's the 15 to 16,
And so, like I say, but again, like I say, the way that they were perceiving it, and again, a loss of life is sad, and I can understand a family being upset, especially at such a young age, these children losing their lives. But you have to take it for what it is, and what that is these kids were out there running the streets, and you kind of have to have an idea of what they were doing, because this is the first time we gonna try to rob somebody we just got killed on our first go round. No, absolutely not. And so, again, like I say, it's a sad situation. But my thing about it is, if you know your people out there doing bad, you got to accept the fact that what comes with that. And a lot of people don't. Like, they want to justify the action. Well, we need to know the truth. The truth is, the little niggas was out there robbing, and they ran up on the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? And so...
But see, they was shot outside the house. See, I just need more detail. I need all the details.
But they said that the homeowner was sitting outside, like they were outside. It was supposed to be 2 or 3 of them outside. I guess he was sitting in his yard. Maybe, they might have been outside drinking. You know how people do. Late night, you in front of your house. You just having a drink. Might have had a little get together or whatever it could have been. But they said they were out there sitting, and I guess they pulled up, or they came up, with a gun or whatever, and because the little niggas was strapped, and they got into a little semi-shootout. Apparently his aim was better than theirs, and he laid all 3 of them down, and that was that. My thing is, I don't think it's too many questions asked. If you on somebody's property with masks, if they found them, I think, in the driveway or the yard or whatever it may have been, if you got a mask on you, and you on somebody else's property at 4 a.m. in the morning, that ain't no Jehovah's Witness. They ain't trying to preach no good news to you. They ain't trying to seek your salvation. They trying to separate you from some of your goods. And so I think they thought they had an easy target. They probably thought them dudes was probably drunk or whatever it may have been, and that they was going to get a quick lick. And, unfortunately, that's kind of how it happened. So I don't think that... like I said, I feel sorry for the family to lose the youth, but
it was just an intent to invade the home if they never actually made it inside the home. I thought they said that they were shooting at people in the house. So I don't know. It's just too many people, too many different stories. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Like I said, in my opinion, like I said, it's sad that the kids were in that kind of a life, but. And that's what comes with it when you play them kind of games. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I heard, that they shot at him first, and then he
that was my point. Like, why would their youth be used to say, oh, well, it don't matter about how old they was, it matters about what they was doing. But when it comes to politics, it matters about their age. I don't see the difference. That's kind of what my point was. More so than talk about a story I don't know that much about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it applies in that too. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. If you doing certain, and you putting yourself out there, no matter what arena it may be, then you have to be willing to accept whatever repercussions come with that. You know what I'm saying? So, I agree with you. That's okay. I got one for you though, because there was another story I wanted to talk on. I've been speaking on her. What about the little girl who got arrested? The 6-year-old girl that got arrested. I forgot exactly where it was, but she was in school, apparently had like a little tantrum or something like that, and they end up arresting her, taking her, I think, to the little youth center, YA, or whatever they call it, wherever it was. And, they end up, dropping the charges, of course, but they said, I think it was 2 6-year-olds taken down by the same guy. Do you think that those kids deserved it, or do you think that guy just has some issues?
They was in school, in class, and she had a temper tantrum.
Yeah, she's like 6 years old, had like a little temper tantrum, and the grandma was saying it's because she got sleep apnea, so she was cranky. And
you said 6.
Huh? 6 years old, yeah. So basically, I guess she was being kind of disruptive in class, so they sent her to the office, and then something happened. They said somebody grabbed her wrist, and then she ended up kicking him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, something of that nature. But the grandma was saying it's because of sleep apnea.
And they arrested the baby.
They arrested her, took her down.
Oh my God! Now you know that's overkill. A 6-year-old, come on now. That don't even make no sense. That's doing way too much.
I don't know. These 6-year-olds, they be on YouTube. They be getting initiated. They got all.
Yeah, they got their own YouTube channels now. They making shit. They be making good money.
Yeah, look. Yeah, they had to go.
They say they paying bills, so they can do what they want to do.
Yeah, the government getting involved with the kids, so they shutting all that shit down. Okay. So
yeah, that's doing too much. You should have people trained to handle kids with behavioral issues, and not arrest them. I don't understand that at 6 years old. No.
Yeah, but the cop that the cop
somebody
that had,
he arrested, and then you gonna tell them, yeah, I got arrested at 6 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, the cop that did it though, he had I think a little bit of history. They said they found something on his record where he was tasing a guy who was already down, like he was out of there, and he was still tasing him for a few seconds after he was already.
Police officers need to be off the force.
But that's the thing though. He was actually retired, and he does he was a retired cop. And he does like a little thing, I guess, like a school officer that they use some of the retired cops to do some little crazy stuff. But a lot of people were trying to say that was a racist situation, but it turns out that cop was black because the little girl was black. The cop was also a black man, so I don't think it's it can't be a racial situation. It's just I think that man is just.
I don't know why
people
think color matters to cops. Color don't matter to cops. Shit, they'll beat a black man just like they'll beat anybody else, or a black woman, a white man, whatever.
Yeah.
Shit, they don't give a shit about you being black. The only color that matters to police officers is blue. They look out for each other. Shit, that's it.
That's funny. Okay. So, other than that, what else would you like to share with us this evening, Miss Rashida?
Oh, I want to shout out my boy Broderick. I ain't talked to you in a minute. I ain't seen you in a minute. Okay. And did you see that story about the girl from H&M, the young black girl?
I heard about it. I hadn't seen it though. I've seen kind of how you kind of see a headline and you kind of see this that. And it's like I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna get it. That I saw it. I guess because her hair wasn't done, so they had a big uproar about it. But I didn't see the actual what the backlash was. So I just
now black people need to sit down on this one because I'm one of the first ones to jump on the bandwagon with the black people. Hey, y'all doing my people wrong? Blah, blah, blah. They had me all ready, all riled up, styled up. I seen the picture. I say, what the hell they doing? Got my girl out here looking like this. Yeah. And then I see it's a campaign where all the kids have met. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no racist thing. She supposed to look like that. And they just blew the shit all out of proportion. I mean, sometimes you got to do your research before you just jump the gun and claim them people all racist and all this and all that.
But so and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, so doesn't that it gets to a point where when you have those type of issues, like you have those kind of issues, and they make everything racial. Doesn't it seem like it waters down the real issues?
Yeah, it does.
So, thank you, Brandon, for the nice hat. I appreciate the hat. So I appreciate the support. Shout out to Miss Beat. I appreciate the love.
Hey, Miss Beat, how you doing?
The aliens are coming. So Make sure y'all got y'all tinfoil hats. Get you a Honcho hat. This nice tinfoil device. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Yeah, I gotta put the link up there for the face mask for the rest of y'all because I know somebody had asked about it the other day. But yeah, that's craziness. I thought it was a thing. People really made a big deal like they just did her bad, like her hair ain't get done. You know, come on, man. And probably half the people complain they ain't even doing their own kids' hair. Shit, they probably send their kids to school
We
looking
do
like
always
that.
talking about natural this and natural that, and the truth is, black people don't like to see their own reflection.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough. Appreciate the love. That's yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. You know, I don't know, man. I think niggas just running out of shit to complain about, so they reaching for anything. I mean, they running out of complaint juice.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. So I think that's all I got. Anything else that you would like to add there, Miss Rushy?
There was something else I wanted to talk about, but shit, I don't remember, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, as always,
Hey, how you doing?
It's been a minute, and like
Hey,
I said,
when we gonna start back up with the chat troll and all them other awards?
we gonna get it back right. Like I say, you know, I'm trying to get everything back in order this week. I'm trying to make sure we get multiple streams this week. I got a couple of records I plan on doing. And like I said, I'm gonna spice a few things up. I'm gonna get I'm gonna try to hang the green screen up tomorrow, so hopefully we can get the look back right. And then once everything gets back to that original den feel, we'll start get it together once we got a solid schedule and everything kind of figured back out. So
because I didn't get no notifications, so I almost missed this one. It just happened to pop up on my YouTube thing, not on my notification though. So I don't know.
Yeah, they like you ain't been active. We ain't even gonna send no notifications for you. That's tough.
Yeah, so y'all was lucky to be blessed with my presence tonight.
Well, thank you for finding time for us lowly folks that you could find a few minutes to bless us with your acquaintanceship.
Of course. And then I've been trying to call. I think I tried to call the last 2 times, but somebody was taking up a lot of time. His name Professor Trill. He's taking up damn near 30, 40, a whole hour.
Oh.
So that's what had happened too.
Oh.
Now the did only 2 hours once a week. I don't think nobody should be staying on the phone for no whole hour after 2 hours. But then you stay on that 30 minutes. So then that's like a whole hour, 30 minutes. So it don't really be that much time for nobody else to talk anyway. So I just want to point that out. You know, I ain't trying to start no problems or nothing.
Oh, you over there sound like 6ix9ine over there. I ain't saying nothing, but you know what I'm saying, but
he a straight lame snitch. Like, how you gonna sit up there and tell on people? I mean, come on now. I mean, I thought he was gonna do better than that. But I guess the pressure made him crack because he just dropping dimes and names and everything.
Oh yeah, he was on crack anyway. Like I said, he was gonna give up the game one way or another. Yes, y'all like my new physique face. Yeah, he was gonna give up the game one way or another. It didn't matter. Eventually, it was gonna happen. Oh my God. Okay. Well,
I just wanted to say hi to everybody else that I didn't shout out. So, did John from New York call? Because I came in a little late.
No, John hadn't called this evening.
Oh, okay, yeah. John, cool. I like John. John be saying this shit straight. I like him.
Yeah, John cool, man. John cool.
You hear me because you keep trying to get me off the phone.
I mean, I ain't know. I'm just saying, you know, I talk to Miss Rashida all night long. You know, I just
I'm looking at the time now. It's close to 12. I know how. Honcho, I've been talking to you for what? 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, something like that. I know how you do it. I know your pattern. When it's time to wind down, you get the well, yeah. And yeah, I already know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to switch it up then. I can't look like I'm getting predictable. I got to switch it up now.
Yeah, you predictable. You get the shit like,
Okay.
okay. Is there anything else, Miss Rashida?
I mean, I'm just segueing into to keep the conversation fluid and smooth, so that there's no, awkward pauses or, dead air or anything of that nature. That is all.
No, there'll never be no dead air when I'm on the phone. It'll be all the way live and lit. So, but I know when you're doing that, it's time to wind down. Or you ready to get to the next call, either or. So.
Okay. Well, look at that. So now I gotta.
Hey, Miss Grace, how you doing? You gonna call in?
Hey, Miss Grace. Miss Grace is the building. Shout out to Miss Grace.
What time you getting off tonight?
Like I said, I probably end up taking maybe one more call and then get ready to wind it down. Y'all can, it'll be a little bit shorter, so y'all can blame the sauce. But like I said, I'm gonna get the sauce back on track, and we're gonna get back to our 2-hour time frame. But I'm gonna get to bed a little bit early, well, relatively early tonight. Cause I got a couple things I gotta take care of in the morning. But so I'll probably take like one more call and then get it ready to wind it down after that.
And female pimp, you can shut the hell up. I ain't seen your ass in a whole month or so. I thought your ass had left. I hang up and you're ready to hang up. You don't tell me about hanging up. But you don't need to call in because your damn call was the worst call. You only made one. So stay out of my goddamn deal. Okay, Honcho, you have a good evening. Everybody else.
Well, I appreciate the call. Shout out to Miss Rashida holding it down like P.O.P. Already.
Good night. Take care.
All right, you too. Good night.
Okay, good night.
All right. We're going to take one more call before we wind it down. That was very entertaining. Shout out to everybody. And 335 for the interesting faces. That face should be funny because it just be so fucking unexpected. Some shit just pop up on your fucking face. That's just when it's always tough to get to. Wow, pause on that. Time the fuck out. Pause on that shit. Yeah, that sounded very questionable. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Ashley.
Ashley. How are you doing, Ashley? How are you this evening?
That's good right now. It's like super stuffed.
Super stuffed? What happened? You getting sick over there?
I don't know. I think it's allergies.
No.
Or just the season changing.
Okay. So how's life been treating you, Miss Ashley?
I don't know. I guess fine.
See, that's what happens when you get rid of the cat and now the allergies act up. But how do you feel about the youth or as far as who is off limits? Or is anyone off limits in politics, or is everybody fair game?
Like, what would be off limits, or what would be
I mean, because they had the little girl who had the climate change speech at the UN. And so I saw a lot of people, some speaking for her, some speaking against her, but, certain people are saying, oh, well, she's young, so she's off limits. It's not right to criticize her because she has Asperger's and she's like 16 or something like that. But at the same time, I've seen people of both parties or both sides of the aisle, criticize others. Like I've referenced the young kid, C.J. Pearson. He's a black Republican or black conservative. And I've seen lots of liberal people, criticize him. And so it's almost vice versa. So I'm saying if somebody puts themselves out there publicly, I'm not saying anybody just to be attacked, or accosted for no reason whatsoever. But if someone puts themselves out in a public arena, I mean, do they make themselves fair game to be criticized?
I think so. Yeah, and I don't think her disability has, like, anything to, like, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think it's, like... But, I mean, how much could you actually criticize a 16-year-old giving a speech on climate change?
Oh.
Like, what were they saying?
You can. I mean, just various stuff. Some people, talking about her, they disagree with her thoughts, and some people kind of more so criticizing the background and the people who were putting her up to it. Basically, what was the term? How to use human shield. Basically, you're giving someone free privilege to say whatever they want to, with the expectation that you won't say anything about them, because of whatever situation you think is a, I don't want to say a liability, but it's unfair to them, so you can't speak on it, because then, even with like the gays and stuff, if you say something that in disagreement with a gay person, it doesn't even have to be about their sexuality. All of a sudden you're homophobic, or you're a gay hater, or certain people with racial situations. If you say something against a certain person of the opposite sex, it's a sexist situation. So people use these things to try to prevent them from being criticized.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't think you should, like I could understand, not saying, oh, she sounded stupid, knowing that she's, kind of retarded. Or, she has a disability. I could understand not going that far, but you should be able to critique her speech. But I don't think you should personally attack a child.
That is that's tough. Okay. Okay. So I mean, yeah. Here's my thing. I agree. A child is a child, but because I forgot, it was a crazy little speech. I saw a few minutes of it. I don't know how long the entire thing was. But it was very interesting. But again, like I say, her parents have political ties and political leanings, and so I think there's a lot of influence in that. And that's why I say I think those were the motives of getting questioned. It's how much is this really this child who allegedly has a disability, and how much of this is parental influence and them pushing this. This
right,
idea.
But why is her? Why does it even matter if she has Asperger's? What does that have to do with the speech on climate change? Unless they weren't using it as, an agenda to get more publicity to... What the fuck? I can't even talk.
That could be.
More well, they want people to notice it more. What the heck?
I don't know. But I know, if Asperger's wasn't a disability, it would be a great... I guess synonym for big ass. I mean, that would be a great. That bitch got some Asperger's.
I think it's just a form of autism, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think it's a high functioning autism or something like that.
Right. So it's whatever.
Okay. But yes, I think it is. I think it is an agenda, and I think there's a political push behind it. I mean, because people, you got to understand, these are people who are, especially in politics, they're intelligent. They know what sways the public, and they know, well, if we get this certain person with this certain ethnic or economic background or a certain situation, if we can put this image out here. The same way, like I say, those people who put the money behind AOC because she represented a certain demographic. Then they play the public, and that's basically what it is. So, like I said, I think this is another one of those situations where they're trying to use this person to their advantage to push their political message. So, like I said, I have nothing against the kid, but I'm just saying, it's like, either everybody's fair game or nobody's fair game. I'm a person that believes in...
What are you trying to say about this kid? What do you mean?
I mean, because the people were just saying that, they were just... Because people were criticizing her speech. People say, well, you can't say that, because she has this disability. She gave a fucking speech to the UN. I don't have any disabilities that I know of. I ain't never gave a fucking speech to the UN. So... Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm not insulting it, but I'm just saying that's the argument. That's why I say I kind of wanted to focus more on that aspect of the argument more so than what she was actually talking about, is because, if you disagree with someone, but if you're putting themselves out there, I mean, you should have the right to criticize them. You know what I mean?
Right, and especially just because she has she's different. Like that's never an excuse to like if you have one arm and I have a disagreement with you, like I'm gonna bring it up. I don't give a shit. Like just because. But I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't think her having Asperger's means you can't critique her. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm more likely to get aggressive in an argument with a person with only one arm because what they gonna do? Fight me?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we
yeah, because that one arm is probably really strong.
But if they miss, it's on. You know, it's for to be a field day. But they're gonna have to put everything they got behind that one arm. They're gonna have to give everything they got behind that swing to make it, impactful. I mean, they ain't blocking shit. So if they miss, this game over with. Nah, I don't know. There's gonna be some motherfuckers that'll fuck you up with that one arm. And then TKO'd your ass.
Oh my god.
But my thing is, Shannon, you think everything I do is some form of assholery. I think you're the asshole, Shannon. You were in the Den Show Facebook group talking about enslaving men. You are a racist, a sexist, and a what is it? What is it for women? Misandrist or some shit like that? Yeah, you talking about what is it for women? Not misogynist, misandrist or something like that. Misandrist? What I don't know how to say it. I don't know. Something. Whatever the female version of misogyny is.
What?
There's the female version of a misogynist. What is it, like a misandrist, something like that? I can't, like MISANDRIST, something like that. I don't know. You're talking about the ones that were hanging off the Fred Hartman Bridge over there that connects to Baytown, Broderick? But Shannon is all those things. Shannon's a bad person. Shannon's like probably one of the worst human beings on the planet.
Shannon's like always into some shit.
Yeah, she steals barbecue from LGBT clubs. So there's that. Okay. So what else is going on in the world, Miss Ashley? What else is going on in Miss Ashley's world?
Going on in the world?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yes. What is going on in the world? What is what is it? Is there anything that you've seen or would like to discuss that we have not addressed this evening?
I did see something interesting. What was it? I don't know. Do you know the rapper Kaya?
My neck, my back?
Yes.
Okay.
That
yeah.
Kaya. So anyway.
Is she really a rapper or does she just have like a song? I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
No, she's an actual rapper and she's like constantly in the studio. I don't know who listens to it, but she's out there doing her thing, whatever. Anyways, she has like this whatever, like a talk show, the one that she used to have with that transgendered person. And so she does it like by herself. Anyways, so she was on there and her phone got cut off like right in the middle of the show.
What?
Yeah. That was like so crazy. Okay, so then I don't know. Do you know Trina? She's like another rapper.
Trina, Whoop Whoop Pull Over?
What, who?
Whoop Whoop Pull Over, that ass too fat Trina?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Trina.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so anyway, I guess they've been beefing for years. And she's like always saying she has AIDS. like, isn't that crazy? I would sue her if she said I had AIDS. But she's constantly saying she has AIDS. And so, Trina's cousin, said something to Kaya, because she had said something about her dead mother. And so, anyways, he got on there arguing, and so Kaya roasted him, and it was the funniest shit I've ever fucking seen. She said you need to check your DNA test. It was so fucking funny.
So, Kai is the one saying that Trina has AIDS?
Yeah, she's saying she has AIDS.
That's
She's been saying she had AIDS. But that rumor has been going on for a long time.
That's tough. Fellas, got a question for you, fellas. Would you risk it? I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like Kai would look like the one that she would have the gangster.
She seems like the type that doesn't have AIDS, as reckless as she talks.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not too judgmental of a person. But yeah, that neck and back, she might as well call a chiropractor because I couldn't be the one. So that's tough.
But that's just me. But that was just really, really funny. Like right in the middle.
What's that? They got that prep shit out there nowadays. So y'all look, hey,
They have what?
No, because I was asking the fellas if they would take that risk with Trina, and brother said yes and twice on Sunday. I said, well, they got that prep shit out there, so I guess that lowers the risk a little bit. You better wrap it up. Trina, I don't know, that might be before your time, 335. You don't know that nigga. Huh?
Have you seen Trick Daddy lately? He looks like he has AIDS.
Trick Daddy been out there eating ass. He was part of the Eat a Booty gang. That's the whole different thing.
Probably good.
I don't know. Rappers are weird as shit. T.I. has a show now. Somebody said I sound like T.I. and it made me very sad. Made me extremely sad.
You sound like T.I.?
No, not like because of something he said on his show, and somebody's like, "Oh, this sounds like Ed Honcho on the sauce." When I guess some the way he said a particular thing, not necessarily that we sound alike, but it made me sad for that for that comparison. Yeah.
T.I.'s annoying. He's such a jackass, and he stays woke.
T.I. That's funny.
Yeah, the activist.
Yeah, the raptivist.
Okay.
So what do you think about that story? Did you hear the story, the one Ms. Rashid referenced about the 3 kids? I believe it was in Georgia that were killed. Allegedly out there robbing.
What happened?
Did you the kids? There were 3 of them. I think 15 and 16 years old. And I think it's about 3, 4 in the morning that they were, I guess there were some folks outside. I don't know if they were drinking or whatever, but they were masked up and they had a little shootout, and the homeowner ended up killing all 3 of them. And, people were upset. There were some family members that were upset, talking about, they want answers to know what really happened. And I think, you can probably tell what really happened.
The kids were masked up?
Yes, they were there. They were all wearing masks.
Uh-huh. That just sounds awful. And I hate to say it, but it sounds like bad parenting overall, but, all of that's terrible. The thing is, if somebody broke into my house in the middle of the night, I wouldn't think they're coming just to not kill me, and I wouldn't take that chance. And it's unfortunate. They were, I hit on different stuff, but anyways, that's sad.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that, like I say, the people were outside, so it wasn't even they necessarily were breaking in the house. I think the people were sitting outside.
Oh, they were outside?
Yeah, it was all outside, and so I guess,
Oh, I thought you said they were inside.
But no, they were outside, I guess, the homeowners were sitting, in the yard or whatever, the guy who owned the home. And so, that's what I'm saying, I'm assuming they may have been drinking or something. How people hang out late at night sometimes, you never know, I don't know. But right. I guess they saw that they thought it was an opportunity to take advantage of them, and ended up getting killed. And like I say, their family was upset. But I mean, come on. I mean, I don't think there's too much to figure out there. Because I think when the cops arrived, they still had the mask on their face. I don't think the dude didn't even take the mask off or anything. They killed him, and I think one of them died in the driveway or something. I think the other one was died en route to the hospital, whatever it may have been. But basically, they were still, faces and all that shit was still covered. So it's not like they shot him and then went and put some ski masks on him. You're being out at 4 in the morning. I think there's a lot of that answers itself, but again,
outside though, and this wasn't inside of their house.
They weren't inside, so they said that the young kids started shooting first. So very interesting.
Oh, they started shooting first from the outside, and the people were also outside at 4.
Yeah, like I said, they were sitting outside. I don't know, like I say, minding their own business. I'm assuming doing who knows what, but.
Like, why would you just start shooting inside of a house? That doesn't make any sense.
Like I said, it's I think that they, I think they probably made an attempt to probably rob, but it wouldn't happen. I think that's probably when the shooting may have started. That's what I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you said they were inside masked up and they all died. But I mean, if they were outside, that's different.
I mean, I look at it like once you're on the property is the property. Whether you're in the house or outside, if you're on, my land or my property or my premises, well, uninvited, I think you have to, deal with whatever comes with that.
Yeah, but I could totally I don't know what they were doing out there, but I could see 3 kids walking. And then some nosy person saying something to them and then walking over. But, I mean, if they had ski masks, that's a different story. But I could see that also happening.
I don't know. I think it's a lot of questionable activity. Them young asses, they need to be at home. If it's 3, 4 in the morning, you're 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, but at 15 and 16, were you always at home? No.
Yes, I was a good... no, I wouldn't. So, I mean, there's that. But I was in the vicinity, usually somewhere, at least, I don't know.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, kids do what kids do, but again, I wouldn't ride around with ski masks and shit like that, or walking around, or however you want to look at it. So again, like I said,
kids wear those. Kids do wear those. They just roll them up and they put them on their head.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. If you are wearing those, there's generally a reason why, and you generally have some intentions to do that.
No, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. Whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to speak on, Miss Ash, before we wind it down?
What else? Oh my gosh. Yeah, but never mind. No.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us this evening. And as we get things back on a regular schedule, I will be looking forward to hearing more from you.
Oh, yeah? Are you going to do a show on Friday?
Let me see. My plan is, like I said, days with no football. So I'm looking at Tuesday, Wednesday. Because people are like, Wednesday, what's Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, most likely, is at least maybe try to go 4 times a week. And like I said, because Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays are all primarily football days. So we'll see how long that lasts, because again, basketball season will be starting soon too, and so we'll be working around. It'll be a very interesting schedule here towards the end of the month because the preseason starts. So, but yes, we will definitely get it. We'll get it all together. Tuesday, Wednesday,
Friday. Yeah, that was I'll share on Friday.
Yeah, you have something to share for Friday?
All right, buddy. Or I guess it's kind of funny. Okay, so I've been seeing this person for a while. And so I was ignoring him for whatever, just because I was bored. And so he, like, acted like he was moving. So then when he came to say goodbye, you know, I just acted like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll see you when I see you.
That's tough. You are a mean person. So why were you ignoring him? Well, why ignore that gentleman?
Because I was bored.
But shouldn't that be entertainment to not ignore him? I mean, did it make you more bored by ignoring him? I mean, you could just be like, well, I don't know. Maybe he's just a boring person. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. But now he has to pretend like he's acting like, you know, pretend like he's moving. This is weird.
That's tough. You must be a tough one to entertain. Would you say that you're high maintenance?
Would I say that I'm high maintenance?
Yes.
Like, what's high maintenance?
Do you require a lot of attention in a relationship?
No, I prefer to be left alone.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to talk more about this on Friday. We're going to talk about high maintenance people or something like that on Friday. I don't know. I got to come up with something good because it's been a while, so I'm going to have to come up with something real good for Friday. But
for Friday.
Yeah, see, we got to bring back. It's been a long time since we've done a Talking Dirty After Dark, so maybe we have to bring that back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Miss Ashley, I thank you, ma'am, for calling, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. I'm going to wind it down on that one. We're gonna wind it down, but I just read what Miss K. Grace Titan. That just made my shit hurt. Just thinking about it. Domino's in the what? I'm like, I can't even justify. I was gonna say maybe like Domino's pizza, but that don't even make sense. Like, oh. What? Domino dick? How do you? That sounds like some freaky kind of food fetish you do with a big girl. If she like a real kinky, and then the pizza something, you know, wrap a slice around your shit. But Domino's and I can't even sit comfortably now. I don't even want to look that up. I have nightmares already. I don't even know what's going on. I'm already having nightmares. It's terrible. That is terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, Lady Licious. Yeah, that's if when Lady Licious get real frisky, she call him Mr. Her husband. We ain't gonna call him that. She calls him her husband. They get frisky, and they do a little kinky thing called Domino's dick. That's tough. How do you? I don't see. One. Oh, this is terrible. Like one. How do you figure? If I put some Dominoes in my dick, it'll feel really good. Like, and you gotta cut it. Like, you gotta mutilate. No, I'm not into mutilation. Yeah, I gotta call him Mr. because we can't say that. I already had one suspect statement earlier. Like you're allowed like one questionable statement per stream. You say too many things, and you gotta. there. So, yeah, you know, there's a limit. There's a limit. But shout out to everybody. I don't want to look it up. I'm afraid to look it up. Like, I really don't. Like, I want to. I wish I had one of the little Men in Black things. Like, I just want to erase it from my thought process. Just the fact that somebody. I mean, but I don't even know why I'm surprised. Like, I guess when times are hard, right? Oh my God, that's tough. That is unfortunate. Terrible, terrible stuff. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna end up on a mixer for a little bit to clear my mind of these thoughts. I can't go to sleep on that note. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit of Hitman. I ain't played in a while. I got a scripted video for some tomato sauce. But I appreciate y'all, man. Poor stories, like war stories. Oh man. I'll tell you some poor stories. I'll tell you some very, very entertaining poor stories that make you appreciate where you came from. That's tough. That might be that's pretty interesting. Let me jot that down. So, well, you don't have any stories, Heidi. You know, unfortunately. Of course, Shannon will look it up. But here's the deal. Man, I actually had a video I wanted to do on Antonio Brown, partly inspired by you when you were talking about the thing that Master P said. And I'm tired of people trying to justify anything that Antonio Brown did. Like, if you're validating anything about Antonio Brown, it has to make me question your character, because the lack of loyalty, the lack of accountability, the lack of responsibility, it's just like the dude, man, there's no way you can validate anything he's done. He's not a finesser, he's not a mastermind, he's just a spoiled fucking brat that eventually the Raiders didn't want to deal with because it was a problem. You see the Patriots aren't dealing with it. Like, I don't even think it's so much, honestly, I don't think it's so much the sexual allegations that made the Patriots not want to deal with him. I think it's Belichick was tired of answering questions about it. Like, he's just like, man, fuck that. Nobody's bigger than, no name is bigger than the Patriots. Y'all know how that goes. And when you're constantly having to answer Antonio Brown because you're like, you know what, fuck this. This guy's not worth it. We're going to win without him. You know, fuck that. Get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? And then now, because all that, like, yeah, and no awareness, the fact that you going to text the accused, like, let that shit go. Like, I'd act like I didn't even know the motherfucker. Like, I would not give any fresh connection. I wouldn't do anything. Look, my cut 'em off game is so strong. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, look, my cut 'em off game is strong. Like, if I don't fuck with you, I ain't got nothing bad to say about you. I ain't gonna say nothing negative. I don't have to. It's not gonna fuck with you, man. Like, just like that. I don't know if Trill was still in here, because I'd asked Trill a question earlier, and I was going to kind of expand on the part about Whitlock and Shannon Sharp. And like I say, there's nothing wrong with Shannon Sharp, but again, and this is why I say about, especially black folks, when you got to look at things in a certain manner. Shannon Sharp is the employee, you know, but he speaks on all these social justice issues, so we all, the majority of black folk, relate to him. Oh yeah, you know, he's woke, he's keeping it legit, and he's doing all this. But Whitlock is a boss. Like him or not, whatever he got going, Whitlock is a boss. He makes boss moves everywhere he goes. And what he talked about, he said, no matter where he goes, if I'm pulling up, the black unemployment rate is going down. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, even half of his staff at Speak for Yourself, so like half of the staff is black. And they say not that he doesn't employ, you know, the people he wants, you know, the best person for the job, but he does give opportunities. You know what I'm saying? He gives opportunities to, you know, black people that are trying to do something different. And he's like, it's not, you know, based on all that stuff. And like I say, Wiley, I didn't know Wiley was from Compton. Like, I didn't know Marcellus Wiley was from Compton. Went to an Ivy League school. So, but Unc worried about the Jordans. See, Unc over there showing off, Jordans and suits and all that. Whitlock is employing people and allowing them to feed his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they feed their families. Like, Whitlock is changing lives. Like, Shannon cool and all. He's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But, Whitlock is putting people on and not just to speak for yourself everywhere he goes. And like I say, so I have to commend that. I have to respect that. Whether I agree with his sports takes, but sports is, in the grand scheme of things, minute. Whenever you're talking about, again, like I say, putting people on and doing that. Yes, female pimp, this ain't a sports channel and you ain't a pimp, so what's wrong with it? What's the problem? What's the problem? Right? Ain't no problem. Exactly. Sweet Berry, see, this one for to take them 150 back from you. See, I was trying to let you make it. But here's the deal. Oh, actually went past that. I was trying to make it to a little 30 minutes. I actually went past it. I gotta give me I gotta stop using this wireless. I'm gonna give me a fucking legit keyboard, because this fucking wireless situation, for some reason, like every now and then it fucking just it's like it doesn't register. I don't know if it's the phone signal interfering with the wireless signal or what. And sometimes I'll just be clickety clacking, and nothing fucking coming out. That's not too suspect. But had to kick DeMarcus' ass one time. But yes, nothing fucking registers. So I have to. I'm probably just get one that's directly connected. No, I wouldn't say you pimped the response. I felt bad for you. It's kind of like a charity response. I'm seeing you in there trying to get my attention for some time now, female pimp. So I felt like, why not address this child, kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation type situation. You feel me? But I appreciate you all. I thank you. I appreciate you joining. I'm probably be on the mixer for a little bit. I might spend a little bit of time on the mixer. I want to decompress a little bit. Got a little bit going on. So I'm going to play a little Hitman, knock off a few bodies. And then, so if you care to join me on the mixer, I'll see you there. I'll put the link in there somewhere. And if not, catch y'all on the flip side. Mañana, tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll be back at it. So, with that being said, what the hell are you talking about, Sweet Berry? DeMarcus, he's smoking big dope. He's smoking big dope. Shannon, you're a hater. You're a racist, a sexist, hater. So, but I appreciate all of y'all, man. Like I said, we'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll get a full 2 hours, we'll be on time and all that other good stuff. But with that being said, yes, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And good night, all you lovely people. I'm out.